If you have children, you're going to want to pay attention to this, especially if you live in Missouri. Other states could be following suit, but Missouri-based BJC Healthcare revokes parents' access to their kids' medical records when the kid turns 12 because it's confidential. Kids must grant written permission in order for parents to view it. Kids can make private medical decisions and revoke parents' access at any time. Y'all, this is a massive red flag. This is the list, the paper that they have to do. Let me explain to you what this says, okay? It says here, my chart, proxy application for adolescent patients aged 12 to 17. And it says, if you are a parent guardian of a minor child who's between 12 to 17 years of age and wish to have online access to portions of their record, the minor child must be present when requesting access and must sign the request form. Under state law, right, we are required to keep confidential certain types of health information and services provided to minors and can only disclose this information with the minor patient's permission. What the fuck is that? I say this as nicely as humanly possible, but whoever made this a law in Missouri, you're retarded. They are a minor. You're using the word minor. They are 12 years old. My daughter is 16. She's still a minor. She has no privacy. You know when she can have privacy? When she's not living in my house anymore. At 16 years old, I am her parent. I have all access to absolutely everything. At 12 years old, sure as shit, the parent should have access to absolutely everything. For these places to now say that a 12-year-old has to give permission to their parents to disclose anything, that is that slippery slope that the left has been pushing us on for the absolute longest. When you had schools saying that they weren't going to let, they weren't going to let parents know what pronouns these kids wanted to go by. They weren't going to let parents know if the kids came to them about, sexual activity. They were going to keep whatever kids' secrets were brought to teachers in their school, which if we want to really get into it, these teachers at schools these days have lost the line between teacher and, just inappropriate adult in a classroom with children, because there's too many people out there now who are holding positions of power, because a teacher has power over these kids that are holding these positions of power and using it to push their own little agendas or whatever else. When I was in school, I did not know if my teacher was straight or gay. I did not know if they had kids or not. I didn't know if they owned a house or lived in an apartment. I didn't know who they voted for. I didn't know, anything personal about them most of the time, because that's not what it's about. They're supposed to be there to teach you the curriculum and then go about their day afterwards. We were not supposed to try to be buddies or, have this lasting relationship or anything like that. And now the lines have been so incredibly blurred. But when you have states like California with Gavin Newsom signing into law that, these students can have all full, nope, I'm not even going to try to do it. They don't have to tell anybody anything that they don't want to tell them. And the school will, keep their secrets for them. That is a red flag to me. Listen, it's to the point where if somebody said, hey, you either have to live in your car for the next year or go to California and live in a house, my car is looking real comfortable. You could not pay me to go to California, especially while I have a child, because I do not trust that school system there. But this whole thing where the people have decided that children are no longer children. And I think that's one of the biggest things too. When I was a kid, right? And a lot of y'all, because we're in the same age group, or a lot of y'all are older than me even. I'm 43, 44 in January. A lot of people, when we were younger, we played outside. You were home when the street lights came on. You didn't have a cell phone. You didn't have anything, glued to your ear or your hands. You weren't playing video games all the time. I mean, sometimes when Nintendo was out and then Game Boy came out, I was all about it, right? But we did things as kids that were kid-like things. You go ring a doorbell and run, ha ha ha. You go TP somebody's house for Halloween or April Fools or whatever else. You ride your bikes around the neighborhoods with your friends. You drop them all in somebody's front yard. You go running into the house with dirty feet and loud voices and raid a kitchen and then go back outside, get back on your bikes and ride off. That's a normal thing. Kids these days at 12 years old are, robbing Sephora's or, making TikToks about how great their outfits are or how they can do their hair better than adults. And they're trying to look older and act older. And it has to do with mainstream media, obviously, but also these pushes from adults that do not have children's best interests at heart. When you have a state, Missouri, who is willing to take the rights of parents away, that to me is an issue. At 12 years old, I did not know my ass from my elbow. There's nothing about my life at 12 years old that needed to be private. My mom needed to know absolutely everything. She needed to be able to tell me what was going on up from down. Because at 12, I did not know anything. Just because we have the internet now and these kids can find out absolutely everything on their own doesn't negate the need for parental consent, parental help, parental control even. You are a child. If you're not old enough to vote or enlist in the army, you are a child. And until then, you should have no privacy. My daughter has a cell phone, right? She's 16. She has a cell phone. I will take that cell phone and look through every single portion of that cell phone at any point in time that I want. You know why? Because it might be her phone, but it's my house and it's my money that pays that cell phone bill. And as her parent, I'm going to make sure that she is doing the right things and that she's hanging around the right people and that there's no weird shit going on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or WhatsApp or what's the other one? Snapchat or she's not Googling weird shit, right? That she's not watching stuff she shouldn't be watching because kids these days can get to any kind of porn stuff. Like there's so much that as parents now we have to be more worried about, and we need to be able to know more about our kids, not less. And so for Missouri to say, hey, listen, mom, dad, parental guidance, whoever you may be, that's taking care of this child at 12 years old, we're going to revoke your privileges to know what's going on with your child's health unless they give you permission. That means they're expecting 12-year-olds to be sexually active. They're expecting 12-year-olds to be doing drugs at some point. They're expecting 12-year-olds to be having questions about their, am I a girl, am I a boy, am I the other, am I whatever? That's what they're expecting, and they're trying to hide it from parents, and that is fucked up. There's nothing okay about this. And the fact that it hasn't been shut down in the states that allow this kind of thing to happen is concerning for me as a parent. I know Florida would never, at least not under Ron DeSantis, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen in other states, right? Now, really quickly, I want to talk about something that should be on a lot of your minds, and I'm talking about investing in tomorrow. But first, let's start with today. Taking a short break away from the war we are fighting against the enemies from within to talk about another war, a slightly different war that is being fought right now, and most people don't even know it. And I am talking about the US-China Cold War. So you see, everyone's focused on chips and Taiwan, but the next battlefield is already here. Humanoid robots. And whoever wins the race to deploy millions of human-like robots in factories, warehouses, and eventually homes wins the century. And China's state plan is to dominate this by 2030. That's less than 5 years away. So needless to say, the clock is a-ticking. Now, the previous admin tried to catch up with billions in CHIPS Act money, but almost none of it is going to the actual robot bodies, just the semiconductors inside them, and of course being redirected in various fraud scams and schemes. But I digress, because like I said, the next battlefield is already here. Humanoid robots. And now listen to me closely when I say this. This is literally the US-China supremacy fight in physical form. And the fear many have is that if we lose robotics like we lost solar panels and batteries, kiss the middle class goodbye. Go ahead and check out the link in the description if you want to learn more and check out the investor deck. There is no obligation. I just thought my subscribers should know about it before this blows up into the next big political issue in 2026. And there's only one publicly traded pure play basket of the companies building the robots themselves, not just the chips. It's called Humanoid Global Holdings, ticker symbol RBOHF on the OTC. So today, the nominal all-time high in silver is, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's pretty much toast. This 2025 bull market is nothing like the 1980 spectacle. In the surge you're seeing right now, it's the sound of industrial warfare escalating. Now, each of the three major silver bull markets over the past 54 years began when this one key chart topped, and that's exactly what it looks like today. But silver isn't just rallying on monetary chaos this time, it's reacting to the AI and robotics drain. Every advanced technology critical to the US-China supremacy race, the fastest servers, the sensors inside every humanoid robot is built on silver. It's not just the best conductor, it's the irreplaceable catalyst for the future economy. And I'm telling you all this for a reason, because today's sponsor is tied directly to the do or die race between China and the United States that is sweeping the entire world. Our sponsor is Humanoid Global Holdings, ticker symbol RBOHF on the OTC. Now, in my opinion, humanoid robots could turn out to be the most transformative technology in world history. And the best part is shares of RBOHF are available right now on Interactive Brokers, Schwab, Fidelity, E-Trade, and most major platforms that a lot of you already use for investing. Plus, we're not just early, we are standing at the 0-mile marker of the most profound productivity shift in human history. This technology is demonstrating breathtaking exponential progress, and that earliness is exactly what makes it an unstoppable, unmissable, mega event investment to learn more about. So here's the ultimate proof the market is still in its infancy. Because as of late 2025, humanoid robots are primarily in pilot testing inside structured environments like automotive factories, and they're projected to account for just 0.2% of the total robot market. That's why humanoids are the quintessential early stage investment. And our sponsor, Humanoid Global Holdings, again, RBOHF on the OTC, is one of the only publicly traded pure play companies focused exclusively on this sector. Each of us gets only a handful of chances in life to be at the inception of a transformative industry, the infancy, and to be at the ground floor of something with global influence that very well could create trillions of dollars in wealth. Humanoid Global Holdings has already publicly committed to or closed indirect strategic investments in 5 key private companies that represent the backbone of the emerging humanoid robotics ecosystem. Stick with me here, because this might just be the most important part of this sponsored integration, okay? Because these are private startups, meaning there's no other way for retail investors to get exposure except through Humanoid Global Holdings, RBOHF ticker symbol. Now, the 5 companies I'm sure you're curious about: Agility Robotics, a creator of Digit, the bipedal humanoid, and shareholders also have invested alongside Amazon and NVIDIA. You have Aptronic, the developers of Apollo, the general purpose humanoid, packing a punch alongside Google and Mercedes-Benz. Next, you have RideScan. It's an AI-powered safety and performance platform for autonomous robots. Number 4, Halter Robot, whom I think will be a game changer in the global marketplace, connecting businesses with robotic suppliers. And last, but of course not least, you have Formic. Now, they are robotics as a service for small and mid-sized manufacturers, and they're invested alongside Lux Capital and Mitsubishi. So we have reached the final stage of AI, it seems, after having climbed the ladder from perception AI, think speech recognition, medical imaging, to generative AI like ChatGPT and Midjourney being mostly used for marketing, content, and drug discovery. Agentic AI is in full force with companies such as Amazon and Microsoft integrating this tech to assist in coding and customer service. And now, here we are, physical AI with Humanoid Global. Meanwhile, China has made humanoid robots an all-out, centrally planned national strategic imperative with a non-negotiable short-term deadline. And now you know. The US is racing ahead through private capital, venture funds, and big tech. This is the definition of early. Imagine robots working 20 hours a day, 350 days a year, no fatigue, no sick days, delivering up to 4 times the productivity of a human worker. Dominance in humanoid robotics equals control over the next generation of automation in the defense industrial base. The core thesis is simple. Humanoids will unlock massive, untapped productivity gains across every sector of the global economy. So please, do your own homework on Humanoid Global Holdings, OTC ticker symbol, once again, RBOHF, one of the only publicly traded companies giving you pure play exposure this early in the greatest technological transformation of our time. The link is in the description. Y'all go check it out and decide for yourself. This says here, this is what they have to sign. Patient must sign an initial below. So what it says: I agree to allow my parent/guardian to look at all of my health information. I understand that if my record has information about certain services like testing for pregnancy, HIV or AIDS or sexually transmitted infections, counseling about birth control or prescriptions for birth control and or alcohol or drug use or abuse, my parent guardian will be able to see this information. I understand that I can stop my parent guardian from looking at this anytime by revoking their proxy access via my own MyChart account or by contacting MyChart support for assistance. There should be parents protesting in Missouri right now, 100%. And if you're a parent that hears this and thinks that this is okay, you're a shitty parent. If you think that at 12 years old, your child needs to have their own independence health-wise, shitty parent. And I mean that with the utmost whatever. I 100% mean everything that sounds like. There's nothing okay about this. So for those of you in Missouri who have children, just be aware. The next time you take them to the doctor's office, they can sign a little form that tells the doctor they don't want you to know what's going on with them. Hopefully Becky, Bobby, Susie, whatever, isn't out there, bumping uglies with somebody at 12 years old, unprotected. But it does happen because that's what they're being shown in all these TV shows, whether you're watching Nickelodeon or Disney or ABC, Fox, CBS, whatever, movies. It's out there. They are sexualizing kids at such a young age. They're making them into adults way sooner than they need to be. And when you have things like this that give them that feeling of independence by allowing them to do these things at such a young age and hide it from their parents, we are entering a realm of beyond fucked up that you don't even want to know how bad it can get. This is like that gateway into parents having no rights. You pop the baby out and then you can't say shit anymore. That child can make whatever decision they want. 2, 3, 4 years old, they can decide they want to go live in, somewhere else. And as a parent, you can't stop them. That's the road that we're on here. Absolutely ridiculous to me. Anyway, y'all, I want to know, do y'all have anything like this in whatever state you're in? Because this is absolutely awful. Personal opinion. And I want to know what you think. And if you have kids that are in Missouri, are you aware of this? Have you talked to your child about this? Maybe they've already signed it and you have no idea. Man, this is crazy to me. The amount of in the dark these states want parents to be when it comes to their minor, underaged children. I mean, really think about that. Okay, that is all. Back to regularly scheduled news tomorrow. I love y'all. Goodbye.